Hey, it's that magical time again where we get to point, laugh, and shoot spitballs at a creepy degenerate being weird to a woman. So I hope you've done all of your smile exercises because we're gonna be putting a big ol' grin on that face and having a hoot and a holler at this guy's expense.
So, crazy, silly question, but I'm just curious. I know you don't like coffee, and I know you don't, and I know you eat cereal in the evening.
Yeah.
And I know you have a son, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're about early 30s.
So Goober approaches this woman who's on the leg press machine and he immediately just starts listing off things he knows about her, which just sounds like some stalker shit. Like it sounds like a mission out of Hitman where Agent 47's being given a dossier and going over his target's interests and like where they might be so they can plan out the assassination. This is just like such a creepy cold open here. I know I'm reading way too deep into this situation and it's starting to get dangerously delusional, but for some reason when I first saw this clip, it immediately reminded me of a climactic moment in an action movie when the villain is monologuing to the hero like a fucking phone call. I know you don't like coffee. I know you're in your early 30s. I know the FBI is listening to this call right now. I know you have a son. His name is Mark. He attends Biff Gilmore High. Do this task for me. And all the agents listening to this, stay out of it. And nothing has to happen to Mark. It's just a really odd, peculiar play here. This is definitely not a play that John Madden would draw up. To just approach her and start listing off all the things you know about her, it's just weird. I'm assuming she and him have talked before, which is why he knows all this. They probably have, like, small talk. They're probably on friendly terms. I don't think he's been, like, perusing her Facebook trying to digest all of the lore that she publicly posts about herself there. But it's still weird to then come up and just start, like, spouting it all back to her about everything you know.
That's what I've learned so far. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think you're really cool. I know you have a son. I tell you, you know, straight up, like, I kind of sort of married, like, I kind of feel like I am.
You know how everything has an opposite? Wet, dry, light, dark, matter, antimatter? This guy is anti-charisma. He is the exact opposite of Riz. Like, this dude legitimately has less game than someone that is asleep. He is stumbling through whatever he was cooking up in his noodle here, and it is extraordinarily uncomfortable to listen to. It's like the first draft of a book report where there's still a ton of typos and grammatical mistakes and nothing's making sense, it's all scatterbrained. That's what's happening through this whole exchange. And yet he still is able to squeak out that bombshell there that he's actually married while actively hitting on this woman. And you can see the shock and surprise on her face to learn that little nugget of information about this guy. If I had to speculate a guess, I would imagine he's been flirtatious in the past, which is why she's even more surprised by it. So he's just a big scumbag piece of shit here for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But, I don't know, there's something about you that's really cool. Like just casual, but I don't know if you would have a pizza with me sometime or something, but...
I'm pretty sure your wife is not a pretty.
Good golly, heavens to Betsy, this guy fucking sucks at talking to women. He is speaking to her like he is still in middle school. He just keeps repeating, I think you're cool, I think you're really cool. Like, I half expected him to just go even harder on that, like, I actually think you're epic. Do you want to come over and see my Fortnite, KD? And then we can grab a pizza. Like, there's nothing wrong with a pizza date, I want to be clear there. But it's just this combination of, you're so cool, cool, let's get pizza. Like, that's what I imagine a 12-year-old thinks romance is like. You're cool, get pizza with me, I'll have my mom order Papa John's. Like, what the fuck? It sounds like he's about to bring up cooties. Like, I don't even care if you have cooties, it's okay. Like, he sounds like a fucking child talking to her through text messages. Like, circle yes if you like me, if you like me. Oh, it's so bad. Honestly, this might be inspirational for someone out there. It doesn't matter how awkward or uncomfortable you are, you could still find a partner. Somehow this guy has a wife. Somehow this complete fucking turbo loser has a wife. And now he's trying to cheat on her. So don't be like this guy, but at least let this be known that you don't have to be the most charismatic person out there or be the most socially adept at speaking to other people to find a partner. So maybe there's a little positive spin there. But anyway, back to spitting and shitting on this goofball. The lady here is being extremely sweet about this whole thing as opposed to just splashing the cold water on him and saying, get the fuck away from me. She is tiptoeing around this, probably because she doesn't want to make a scene out of it. Most women usually try and let someone down in a nice way, because if they don't, it could get dangerous. Like, there's no telling how unhinged this guy is. He's trying to fucking cheat on his wife, and he's being brutally honest about it. He is a weirdo. So it's definitely the smart call to just be like, oh, I don't think your wife would approve of us getting pizza or going to play laser tag or whatever other childish fucking offer you were about to make. Like, her being nice about it is the optimal move, but it also keeps her wrapped up in this conversation, unfortunately. So I feel so fucking bad for her because he continues to press, and he's already interrupted her workout. So I imagine it's just this giant fucking headache, this huge annoyance because this uncomfortable miasma of cringe has approached her and won't leave. Like the storm just will not pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, glad you're up front, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, exactly.
Married, then, like,
Right, no. That's why I said
yeah.
that, I wanted to be, I won't say unfortunately, because, being married's good. But sometimes sometimes you meet somebody that just doesn't care.
Bingo. Peekaboo, I see you. I was so curious what this guy looked like. I was freeze framing on every single goddamn pixel of this thing, trying to catch just a glimpse of him here to finally get this Bigfoot photo with him peeking in the top right there. I always get so curious in situations like this. What does the person look like who's conducting themselves this way? I know it's not important, but for me, a mystery like this sometimes just needs a little bit of closure. Anyway, he continues with his speech. I don't want to say unfortunately, because being married's great. I love it. But sometimes need something with a little bit more of a connection. A man like me can't be hunkered down to just one woman. You know what's better than one pussy? My wife's? Your pussy. That's 2 vaginas. Double the fun. What say you to that? Come get a pizza with me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but like it's my connection wouldn't be your connection. I'm married.
Hopefully it does lose faith in men and humanity, right? Like, it makes us scared women to, like, ever want to get married because we don't know if our husbands are out at the gym doing that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I mean, I don't blame you if I'm mad at you. At least you're honest, but, like...
He's going into full car salesman pitch mode right now with the hard sell. My connection's your connection. Buy 2, get 2 free. Come on now. What are you waiting for? The deal's depreciating. Come on. It's, what are you doing? And she is doing her absolute best to be nice here. She is doing everything she can to be, like, sweet in this situation. To try and, like, just get through this as pain-free as possible so she can go back to working out, which is what she went there to do. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking rough. And the guy just keeps going.
No, for sure. Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't, like, have not told you, Up to this point, I just kind of said hi and let it off, and that's it, And I was, I was like, really, when you think about it, it's unfair even to, like, you also. So, what the hell? What's the point?
The way he just blabbers on and gets all jumbled up on each word reminds me of that viral meme of that kid who was doing a line reading but accidentally messed it up. Have you ever had a dream where you could, and you never want, but you could, and you never, but do it so bad? Like that? That is his entire statement to this woman here. Just a bunch of gobbledygook.
I mean, probably the best scenario is, and I'm not saying this would ever happen, but, like, seriously, if you knew my wife and, you know what I mean? Like, we were all friends, that's different.
Yeah.
But, and you actually would like her. Very nice. Yeah. You'll probably meet her sometime, actually. She hasn't been, but she does come sometimes. So when we're here and I see you, I'll introduce you.
That's where our adventure ends. And man, what a journey it was, huh? I don't know where to begin with that closing statement. If only you knew my wife and we were all friends, that's different. You'll probably meet my wife at some point. You'll fucking love her. I mean, she's great. You'll love her. In fact, my wife would actually love if I cheated on her with you, and that can happen after you meet her. I'll just introduce you next time that she's here, and we can talk about how I was trying to cheat on her by taking you on dates. And I think we'll all have a good laugh about it. We'll all become great friends, and then it's all smooth sailing. just a fucking weirdo, loser, degenerate creep. Pretty impressive one here. So, yep, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. See ya. I think most people realize by now that privacy's dead. I don't want to sound like a tinfoil hat wearing Alex Jones troglodyte or anything, but it's no secret that there's constant surveillance in the world. I still remember the day the news broke that confirmed the NSA is quite literally always watching, whether it's through inactive webcams or whatever. And you can see it pretty much daily. Like if you're having a conversation with your friends talking about lawnmowers, like, hey, my lawnmower just broke. I'm really upset. That lawnmower was passed down by my grandfather and his grandfather before him. I really am going to miss that bad boy, the Perkins Gobblemaster 5000. You know, I just missed that lawnmower. And then you happen to go on your phone, your ads are going to be lawnmowers. That shit happens all the time to me where I'm just talking about something and then the ads mimic what I was talking about without me ever having typed it in. It's shit like that where constantly there's signs that you're most likely being looked at in some capacity. I swear to God, this conversation has a purpose beyond me just seeming like I'm having a manic episode here of like gang stalking or something. I'm not saying that we're all just guinea pigs in a universal simulation or something by alien overlords. The reason I'm talking about this is because I watched a video where a big story just came out where some Airbnb hosts were hiding hidden cameras in their houses that they were renting out in order to spy on the guests having sex and changing, so they'd take videos and photos without their consent and without their knowledge. And I wanted to share the video and just talk about it a little bit.
It's like a scene from a scary movie. But this really happened. This man on screen is setting up a hidden camera in his home. And not just one. This is the creepy voyeur, Christopher Rogers. Convicted of using these spy cams disguised as smoke detectors to secretly record his guests in their most intimate moments.
I cut out the section where it showed some of the footage, but it was people either changing, getting naked, or taking a shower, something like that. He positioned multiple cameras across his house in order to capture these moments for his own sexual pleasure, and was recently arrested for it. And this is something I never even stopped to consider when it came to Airbnbs. I'm not a big traveler since I'm a pussy who's afraid of flying, but I did recently go to Texas and we stayed at an Airbnb, and the main thing I was concerned about was bed bugs. But now this really put the fear of God in me. Should I ever get another Airbnb, I'm gonna be going through that shit with a fine-tooth comb, be like Inspector Gadget, looking over every nook and cranny for any kind of like spy tech shit. And the hidden cameras they show here are pretty impressive. I would have no idea. Granted, I have a tiny little reptile brain, but I would have no inkling of suspicion when it came to these devices they show. It almost feels like an advertisement for these hidden cameras. They're so fucking impressive. Like, they actually seem like James Bond gadgets here, straight out of Q Laboratories.
Spy cameras you can buy online are disguised as practically everything these days. This electrical adapter has a tiny hidden lens you'd never notice. And this digital clock can record your every move. It can even transmit video live, allowing whoever's watching you to track your movements in real time.
I gotta say, this feels like a little bit of a Hollywood magic here. There's no way that digital alarm clock was live streaming that seamlessly with that high quality. I just don't fucking believe that. That'd be like a $50,000 camera or some shit. If you look at like courtroom footage from like court cam or something, they're transmitting in negative 240p at like 6 frames per minute. And you're telling me this digital alarm clock is better than all the security camera footage at these courthouses? I just don't believe it. I feel like that had to be like a little cheating there or something, but again, I could just be very naive when it comes to how advanced these hidden cameras are. Like shit, even my Sony A7, when I try and stream off, it gets blurry and a little choppy from time to time. That was extremely smooth. I felt like I was in the room watching her. Like, that shit is wild. But this is something that, again, I never even stopped to consider, but now that I know it's out there, seems like something some sick fucks would do.
It just looks like a modern digital clock.
25-year-old Isa Valdi was on vacation with friends at an apartment listed on Airbnb in Miami Beach when she says she spotted a hidden camera.
I turned around and I see a black cube that looked like a digital clock, and I'm like, there's no way. I open it up, there's a camera inside, I unplug it, and it's just like, wow, I was in shock.
But
bro, this lady needs to be hired by a forensics analysis team. The ability to just sniff out something fishy with a digital alarm clock at an Airbnb is wacky. Like, good good shit. Like, that is extremely impressive. Fucking Batman wouldn't be checking digital alarm clocks at a crime scene, let alone while just leisurely kicking back at an Airbnb. But she was able to, like, spot something wrong with the alarm clock and confirm that, yep, it was a hidden camera. So that's great to hear. Hopefully that person behind that is also going to jail for it. And this is something that I'm now always going to have in the back of my head anytime I'm staying at like an Airbnb or even hotels in general, because I also looked into it a bit. It's happened at hotels too, where a couple of weirdo staff members have placed hidden cameras in some hotel rooms. And it's not so much the fact that I'd be upset with them seeing my cock. It's more so the fact that I'd be upset with them seeing my flaccid cock. That's just so embarrassing. I really wouldn't wish that misery on even my worst enemy. Like, if you're gonna spy on me, at least spy on me when I'm, like, at my best. Like, when my wiener's performing admirably, instead of all sad and soft and shit.
And say they immediately became suspicious during the host's tour of the property.
He told us where we should view the sunrise and said, you know, be comfortable, you guys can look at it in the nude or in your pajamas, no one's around. That moment I thought, maybe we're getting recorded.
Sure enough, he says just a few hours into their stay, he discovered it.
It's a little AC adapter.
Yep, this exact device was in the wall.
Images recovered from the tiny camera show him changing in the room. He's now suing the cabin's owner, AJ Ali.
You know this guy's guilty just from him smiling in his mugshot here. This is the face of a man who's seen more dick than a urologist through his little hidden cameras throughout his Airbnb lodge. And he also sounds like the dumbest criminal of all time, like, hey, you wild and wacky college kids, come over here. If you guys want to be naked, all power to you. But why not be naked in this exact spot? If you look on the ground, I have some tape down there. Those are your marks. If you could stand there while naked and admiring the sunset, it's for optimal viewing. And also, please don't put any bags over by that desk over there. I need to keep that area completely clear for you know, spiritual reasons. Don't put any bags over there. I don't want anything obstructing that table, and don't unplug that AC adapter no matter what you do. It powers the entire house. Hey, and now have fun out there. Like, he immediately just trips all kinds of red flags for this guy to eventually find where he's being spied on from, which has now led to this guy's arrest. And he's apparently been doing this for quite some time, considering they've recovered so many images from him.
He was arrested and charged with invasive visual recording after police say a laptop revealed more than 2,000 images taken inside the rental home, which was also listed on other property sites. He's pleaded not guilty.
This is a felony in the state of Texas.
The evidence is overwhelming.
Included in the images that we have on the computer are images of him setting up the camera in the room.
And that was something I immediately thought of. Maybe I've been watching too much Better Call Saul, but I was trying to think of how he could possibly plead not guilty and get away with this, and the only conclusion I could draw was if they tried to blame it on one of the guests. Like, no, that hidden camera is not mine. It doesn't belong to me. It must have been one of my wild guests that came in there and just used my place as some kind of sexual hotspot without my knowledge. You know, just treat it like a boogeyman, like, oh, some kind of cryptid must have broken in. A burglar came in and installed these hidden cameras across my house. It wasn't me that did it. Because it would be kind of hard to prove that the actual Airbnb owner was the one who installed them, because, I mean, I guess it could have been someone else. But the fact that this guy's such a fucking idiot that he recorded himself setting up the cameras makes it a pretty open and shut case, I would imagine. And just like that first guy who recorded himself setting it up too.
We'd just like to talk to you if we could.
He wasn't happy to see us.
Were you secretly filming people, sir?
He gets out of his truck and takes a swipe at my mic.
No, thank you. Have a good day. Bye. See y'all later. Have a good day.
He says all the accusations are false, calling them fake lawsuits, just looking for money.
When he revved up his truck engine, I really expected him to go full Dominic Toretto and just bust through his own gate and just storm up to his house and just hang out in there to avoid being interviewed. But yeah, to my surprise, he did get out of the car and try and slap the mic out of her hand. Didn't really offer too much of an explanation for his innocence or anything, but of course, you know, he didn't have his lawyer present, so it makes sense that he wouldn't give, like, the most intricate of defenses or anything. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this since I just got back from traveling, and now this has given me a little more food for thought for the next time I travel. Just maybe I'll do a bit of a sweep through the area to see if there's any hidden cameras. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I'm about to scare you with one little word: moderators. When I say Twitch mod or Reddit mod, Discord mod, you immediately get a picture of someone in your head, and it's not a very flattering image, I imagine. You're probably picturing someone that looks like Urgot out of League of Legends. You know, someone with pizza grease dripping down their poop-stained trousers in a dark room. Some sex-obsessed loser who's always just scheming and talking about getting laid. It's become a very negative title. It's mainly just become an insult. You know, you call someone a Twitch mod during an argument like, "Hey, Buster, stupid face, you look like a Twitch mod." It's like, "Oh, why I never? What did you say to me? Twitch mod? Put him up then, tough guy." You know, it's just, it's a title that's got a very bad reputation over the last few years. And right now there's a viral clip going around where it's claiming a Twitch mod said these really weird things during a stream moment.
But I met a girl who's a streamer. I went up to her, I hugged her, and I came in my pants. Wow. Hug you.
Man's looking like he's about to come in his pants again just talking about it, reminiscing on the glory days of that hug. So, the title that's going around with this video is that this is a Twitch mod for a famous female streamer. And that's not exactly the truth of this situation. That's a bogus, phony baloney story here, a load of horseradish just used to generate extra clicks and attention on the video. I actually immediately recognized the guy in the video here because I'm like a fucking librarian when it comes to internet degeneracy. I'm like Jarvis in Tony Stark's Iron Man suit, just this damn near omniscient AI, but all I can fixate on is dog shit internet weird stuff. So I recognized him, and he is like a real-world anime character full of mystery and mystique. There is actually an entire pseudo-documentary about him, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but let me show you the rest of the clip before doing a full dive.
I think you need to get laid a little more often, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was she hot though? Was she like super duper duper hot?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's forgivable if she was super duper duper hot.
Yeah.
Now, if she was only super duper hot, this would be unforgivable, but she was super duper duper hot, and I mean, I think we can all understand a little premature ejaculation from hug contact there, obviously. I mean, that's the threshold, that's the rules. So that's the clip that's really popped off, because it's a goofily, awful, embarrassing moment captured, and he is very proud about the ejaculatory experience here from a simple hug. Like, actual busted nut from a hug. I mean, that's something that you couldn't torture that information out of me. Like, you couldn't waterboard me enough to have me admit to ejaculating from a fucking hug. And yet, here's this man at a bar just telling it like it's an old war story or something. And he's got, like, an audience around him that's like, "Oh, interesting there, brother. What the fuck?" Yeah, it's a very weird clip. And people keep pointing and laughing at him, obviously, but they also keep calling him a Twitch mod. And that's just not accurate. Now, full transparency here, there is a possibility that he was at some point someone's Twitch mod, but it's not who they were claiming, and he's not known for being a mod of any popular streamers or any female streamers for that matter, but there is a chance that he does or has modded for someone or some people in the past. That information I don't fully have knowledge on, but I do know a lot more about this guy than most people seem to, which is surprising because he's actually very well known in the Twitch community. There is a whole documentary about him. He was a 27-year-old virgin at the time of filming this video here, and it's a very open and honest look into his whole life. He became known for his extremely aggressively sexual comments in people's stream chats, female streamers' stream chats, as well as his tweets, where they're all just sexually charged. A lot of them are about pegging and just how often he's nutting, making his cum face, his orgasm face. Like, it's all very sexually charged stuff. So he got a reputation for being, like, creepy for that. And what's very interesting is that he actually opens this interview with the channel Built Differently with the exact same speech, the exact same proud monologue that he just gave in this viral clip that came out 2 days ago.
Well, there was one time when I met ST Peach. She gave me a hug. I met her the first time, and I ended up jizzing my pants. I ended up leaving the convention, going back to my hotel room, changing my underwear and my pants, and then going back to the convention.
It's got sad music playing, like Mr. Krabs on the world's smallest violin, but he seems very proud of this. He's now told this story twice. This feels like it must have been the most exciting moment of his entire being. Like the entire 27 years he's spent on this planet all led up to that moment of filled trousers from the hug. So, like, he's just very upfront with everything about himself, and he is a virgin, or was a virgin when this was filmed, which I imagine most of you are saying, like, yeah, that sounds about right, that's par for the course being a moderator. But his story, like, his X-Men origin story is probably a little different than what you're expecting. He is a virgin by choice. He had a girlfriend, he says it'd been about 10 years, and the reason they broke up is because he didn't want to fuck her without a condom, and she was insistent on him clapping her cheeks raw. I mean, of course, you have to take all this with a grain of salt. There's a possibility he's just making up erotica fanfic here. It could not be real. But he is telling this story about his previous girlfriend, and now it's been 10 years, and he doesn't masturbate, and he doesn't watch porn. All he does now is have wet dreams and make sexually charged tweets and shit all the time. He also then told a story about how he went up to some girl's hotel room during a convention and she got naked, and then he said, nope, I'm out of here, not doing that. He is saving himself for the right girl. So he is a virgin by choice until he meets a fucking angel, which is totally fine. You know, he shouldn't feel pressured into having sex if he doesn't want to. But then on the flip side of that coin, why is he always talking about sex? Like, that is his whole brand, is always talking about sex. He has built a reputation on Twitter for, like, replying to female streamers' tweets with, like, pictures of himself and then making conversational sexual topics out of it. It's very weird. So if he is choosing not to have sex, why does he just always talk about it? And then in the same interview, the interview is fascinating, by the way. In that same interview, he says that there's really no streamer that he'd even want to date. Yet he is always, like, horny posting in their chats and on Twitter. It's so interesting.
I think one other time, this was like the third TwitchCon, but this was like at a party when I was drunk. Yeah. There was a bunch of girls dancing up on me, and then I just, like, yeah.
That's badass.
Dallas.
He's also just constantly dumping yogurt into his pants anytime there's physical contact with a woman, it seems. He tells a couple instances here where he once again blows his load in his pants. He's like, this is the beginning of the beginning of the interview here. So he was just, like, proud of it, it seems.
Like 3 times out of the week, I usually wake up and it's like a puddle. If I did, I would feel out of place. You know what I mean? It's not.
Oh, dude, I just forgot that you come on this bed. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be sitting on it. Yeah, just.
Now, since he doesn't masturbate, allegedly, it sounds like his body is rebelling against him, so he says about 3 times a week he wakes up in puddles of cum. Which is, that's a terrible way of starting your day. Waking up in a puddle of cum, just splashing in cum every time you wake up, that sounds fucking terrible. And what I want to talk about briefly here is the way his room is decorated. You can see all of the Twitch merchandise, Twitch everything, and then a Twitch streamer's photo on the shelf behind his bed. So he very clearly lives and breathes the Twitch ecosystem, and I legitimately do find that very sad. I don't think anyone should make a hobby their whole personality, no matter what it is. Whether you're a big fan of Twitch streamers or anything like that, it should never become your whole personality, where everything you do kind of revolves around it, and that's the impression I kind of get from him. Where he spends so much time in all of these streamers' chats, and a lot of what he says is sexually charged, and it translates into the real world where he has all of this Twitch stuff everywhere, including, like, a picture of a streamer that he really, really likes. It almost makes it seem like something out of Hey Arnold with Helga and, like, the, you know, the monument she builds for Arnold. It's just, it's an obsession, and that's not good.
Fear, because I ejaculate so much in my sleep that the first girl I ever have sex with, I'm going to end up getting her pregnant. I also know that because, like, I got tested for my sperm, and it's like, I got, like, those double-headed. My sperm count is up there.
The potent god seed, I suppose. Talking about, like, double-headed sperm. Man's got fucking chimera sperm, I guess. Wild stuff. Like I said, it's a very fascinating interview. They eventually take him to a strip club. It's all very wacky. But yeah, I guess the only thing I really wanted to focus on is that the story is wrong around that clip. He's not a Twitch mod. He's something much more than that. He's been well known in the community for a long time now. And still, of course, a very weird clip. In fact, a series of very weird clips from him. And very weird tweets and Twitch chat messages over the years. But yeah, I just want to talk about this a little bit, and that's about it. So yeah. I don't care what your plans were for today, they're about to change. So call in sick to work, and I don't give a shit if it's like the biggest day of your life, your wife's in labor right now, delivering your brand new baby into this world, and you're on the way to the hospital right now to be supportive and help. You're about to pull over, because I'm going to show you a man that's going to make you too horny to function. You're going to black out from pure ecstasy. I'm talking, of course, about Dimitri, the lover. A couple days ago, I gave you just a small appetizer, a little taste of Dimitri, the lover, and my god, it tasted like ass. Now, I mentioned in the last video, Dimitri the lover was actually an alias used by a pickup artist named James Sears. James Sears used to be a name that'd strike fear into the hearts of women everywhere. He's like the boogeyman. But if the boogeyman was like 5 times scarier, he looks like if Tommy Wiseau and Harvey Weinstein did a fusion dance. And yes, he has been rearrested, like I mentioned, but today I wanted to finish the voicemails that he left because in the viral TikTok video we covered, it was only half of the story, and I think it's not right that we don't get the conclusion here to this wonderful fairy tale of sadness and disaster. This dude, I have to imagine, was collecting restraining orders like Pokemon cards back in his prime. Like, goddamn. So, we're picking up right where we left off.
I had a long-distance relationship. You know, went a year. It's very tough to maintain it like that, and it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong with me. Matter of fact, I'm one of the few men in the city that has nothing wrong with him.
It's about time, finally, a man with nothing wrong with them. A sane, rational, nice guy. I don't even know why he brings up a long-distance relationship that failed. I guess he's just still very upset about it, and you can still kind of hear that pain in his voice. It's just an old scar now, a battle wound that he can't help but pour salt in. Oh yeah, the relationship failed all because of her, no fault of my own. There's nothing wrong with me, she did it. But it doesn't bother anymore, I'm completely over it, I've moved on, I swear to God I've moved on. I've had sex 50 fucking times a day ever since, and I'm much happier now, I fucking promise you, and don't you ever question whether or not I'm happy about it. Also, I have to doubt whether or not this relationship ever existed in the first place. This seems like another classic manipulation tactic from pickup artists where you're supposed to make yourself look as pathetic as possible in front of a woman, hoping that she feels bad enough to have sex with you.
So I'm giving you that 3 o'clock deadline. If I don't hear from you, you lose my number. I'm erasing yours right now, so you won't be hearing back from me. So that's it. 3 o'clock tomorrow, or you can just completely forget it.
Actual serial killer vibes coming off of this guy here. Straight up the Riddler from the new Batman movie. Hitting him with the less you have of it, the more valuable it becomes. But instead of the answer being friends, in this case, it's brain cells. I don't understand how someone becomes this delusional, this out of touch, and not have a single iota of self-awareness like, damn, this is creepy. He is actually pretending to be a fucking movie villain.
Now, I understand if you've got other issues, like maybe you're not playing games, maybe you've had, I don't know, maybe you were abused in childhood, maybe your mother has cancer, you're going to chemo, maybe you're just a person who's extremely frightened or has an anxiety disorder, maybe you're on some medication for that, I don't know. There could be another issue that I'm not aware of.
Honestly, that's the only logical explanation for why she hasn't called him back yet. That she must have been abused as a child. All of that trauma from her childhood makes it very difficult to fall in love with a real, good man like James Sears. Honestly, this voicemail reminds me of the movie One Missed Call, the old horror movie that scared me when I was a child, where you get like a phone call and it's a voicemail of you dying on the other end, and then you die in real life. Getting a voicemail from James would be scarier than if One Missed Call was real. Like, this guy is so unbelievably creepy, he's making my butthole pucker. Like, I just feel like I'm going into fight or flight mode just listening to this voicemail from the outside. I briefly hinted at deeper lore in the last video with the whole James Sears anime, And once we're done with the voicemail, I'll get into it a little bit more. But he actually had his own weird, creepy newsletter too. So it wasn't just directly harassing women and making them feel unsafe. He also did it using writing as well.
But nobody says, call me, hands a person a business card, and then doesn't return calls. It's extremely passive-aggressive. You should actually look that up, passive-aggressive personality disorder. And you let me know if you've got issues, psychological issues, if you're on any sort of medication for anxiety or depression, I'm not interested.
Dude's making this sound like one of those dick-growing pill commercials like Cialis or whatever. If you're taking any of the following medication, then Dimitri the Lover's not interested, and then just goes into list potential side effects. You also gotta love the pickup artist classic of insulting the women. Oh, you should look into passive-aggressive personality disorder. I am a licensed psychiatrist, so I'm diagnosing you, in fact, with that personality disorder. And you're lucky that I'm even taking the time to continue talking to you because you're diseased. You're filthy. That is an actual pickup artist staple. Just point blank insulting women and being obnoxious assholes and expecting sex in return. Just like, hey, you stupid bitch. You disgusting harpy. I bet you suffer from loose pussy disorder. But whatever, I'm a nice enough guy to give you the time of day. So when are we fucking? It's so baffling to me, because almost every pickup artist guru I've ever listened to recommends some type of manipulation tactic that includes belittling and insulting the woman. And you can see it on full display here in these voice messages.
Okay? But if you're psychologically normal, and you haven't called me because there's been some horrible thing that's happened in your life which prevented you, that's fine. But otherwise, don't call me. Okay? Bye.
Yeah, that's right. There's only one excuse for not calling Dimitri the Lover back, and that's if you've been kidnapped, or maybe severely injured by a falling meteor or something. That's the only possible explanation for why someone wouldn't return Dimitri the Lover's phone calls. I love that perspective. Oh god, she hasn't called me in a week. Something must be wrong. She must have been kidnapped by terrorists. I'm gonna have to leave her an angry voicemail about it. It's so wild. She must have been abused as a child. Otherwise, why didn't she call me back? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm just such a catch. I'm the only guy here that is just perfect for her and she hasn't called me back. Thus, something must have gone awry. Maybe she has some kind of psychological disorder. Yeah, that's probably it. She's not sane like I am. So weird. But anyway, that's the end of the voicemails from Dimitri the Lover, at least the ones that I find. This was the director's cut of it. However, that's not where James Sears' story ends. So like I briefly mentioned, James Sears had a publication that eventually got him tossed in the slammer. That's what he was arrested for. The publication was very anti-Semitic and misogynistic. He was arrested on hateful conduct and then rearrested after breaking parole. I've only been able to find a few snippets of his publication, and you can see just how deranged this shit looks. It's like an old GeoCities internet page in like the late 90s. It is formatted like it's actually from a crazy person in Arkham Asylum. This shit is bafflingly wacky. And it's not easy to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It makes me question whether or not Dimitri the Lover really was as sane as he said he was in those voicemails. He said he was the only man in the city with nothing wrong with him, but then I look at this publication and I think to myself, are you sure? You sure there's nothing wrong with you? You know, I just have to doubt it. But again, it's Dimitri the Lover, alright? The savant of seduction, the savior of sex, right? Like, who am I to question his expertise? But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to at least finish the voicemail and tell you a little bit more about James Sears, aka Dimitri the Lover. Yeah, that's about it. See ya. This afternoon, I was having a pretty good day, so I decided to ruin it by going on Twitter. It's part of my daily routine to check in on Twitter just to make myself mad, as every sane person does, no doubt. And today was nothing special, just endless piles of trash. But while dumpster diving, I found something pretty interesting and alarming. It's a series of posts from a popular streamer named Amaranth. She's massive on Twitch, I'm sure she needs no introduction, I'm positive you all are familiar with her work. She basically invented hot tubs. And on her personal account, she made a series of tweets talking about her stalker. And this shit is fucking scary. It reads like something right out of a Stephen King novel. So I wanted to go over the tweets with all of you, as well as talk about the bigger problem of stalkers on Twitch. Because it's not exclusive to just Amaranth. I think Amaranth has had the most stalkers. She's had like 1,000 stalkers at this point, I think. She's had like an entire fucking football squad worth of stalkers, and that includes third string and bench players. She could fill up an entire Comic-Con convention center with just her stalkers. It's absolutely terrible, and again, it's not just Amaranth. Tons of streamers have talked about their personal experiences with the problem, and one that's always stuck out to me is a really frightening one. I won't name the streamer's name, but there's a streamer on Twitch who has had a problem with a member of her community for almost 4 years now, I believe. And this guy has flown down to her city uninvited, unannounced, to try and track her down and find her. And while doing that, even broke into another streamer's house while they were streaming, went on their stream and tried to use them to reach out to that streamer on their behalf to track her down for them. Absolute fucking lunacy. And they have also, the stalker has also written a manifesto that's over 400 pages long and still being updated to this day. An actual fucking Harry Potter's book worth of delusion and all about like dating the streamer and all kinds of wild shit in there. It's just straight up horrifying and downright sad. So now let's go through Amaranth's tweets today. This is her alt account. She says that her stalker traveled from Estonia, came to her city and camped out in a hotel with a line of sight to her P.O. box and spent over a month camping out daily at a Starbucks next to the P.O. box and streamed it the entire time. Typically to 0 viewers, but growing as he gained notoriety, and every time his account would be taken down, he would just make a new one. This is already so much to digest right here. 44 days and 33 minutes, according to Amaranth, and I'm guessing that's based on how long the stream was up for, based on VODs and all of that, so it was probably realistically a bit more than that, because I'm sure he was there longer off camera. So that is fucking terrifying. Not only was she being stalked, but he was doing it publicly to an audience. Mind-blowing. Camping out at a nearby Starbucks so that way he could be constantly monitoring the P.O. box hoping to catch her. Like Elmer Fudd trying to set a trap for Bugs Bunny. But that's just the beginning. She said that he'd change his name by just adding more numbers to it, and by his own admission went full scorched earth and sold everything. He sold his house, his car, all his possessions, his cat, and by his own admission again, in publicly posted vlogs, a manifesto. The only thing he brought with him was phone, clothes on his back, and a saxophone, as well as the saxophone case. And he would play the saxophone in some live streams and in public places, and it allowed him to carry around a giant instrument case, which Amaranth said made her nervous because you can put weapons in an instrument case, and I honestly think it's a pretty reasonable fear to have because it makes no sense that he sold everything else except for a fucking saxophone and its case, unless he was planning on becoming like a traveling saxophone performer, like just going around and playing Careless Whisper forever. It makes no sense why he sold everything except that saxophone in its case. Which I agree is very weird, but I think the most concerning thing here is the fact that he sold all of his shit before moving from Europe to be near Amaranth and try and track her down. The fact that he sold everything prior to doing all of this is that kind of behavior that people do right before doing something drastic, like something life ruining and changing. The fact that he'll just cut all ties to everything he's ever owned like that, the whole nothing left to lose mentality, is absolutely fucking terrifying. She goes on saying that she would make it very clear that she didn't want to meet him, didn't want to be anywhere near him, but he would respond by just saying, "Liar, liar, fiance," and would make dancing videos reminiscent of Buffalo Bill dancing scene and send them to her. And then she posts a picture of it. This whole situation is deeply disturbing, and the fact that he would send videos to her privately is just super fucked up as well. Literally just rubbing it in her face that he is stalking her, and there's nothing she can do about it because the law enforcement wasn't acting very efficiently here, clearly. And then the picture she posts is also super eerie. It looks like something straight out of the SCP wiki. Like, it looks like a goddamn cryptid captured on photograph. It's just an awful, awful situation. She also briefly mentioned that he adopted a feral cat, which wasn't really seen again on the streams, and then says that on Monday the 13th he streamed himself dressed up and carrying his musical instrument case and changed into formal attire and made the last mile journey to her house and cased the vicinity for 30 minutes, to which the cops declined to act. He streamed himself outside, mumbling about how he knew it was wrong, but he has to. And then he tried breaking in and tried to gain entry, to which Amaranth again called 911. Says dispatch was rude, cutting her off, put her on hold, and it took 33 minutes for the 911 responders to finally get there. Amaranth did have armed personnel on standby at her residence, according to her, that would have acted if he successfully broke in. But luckily it didn't come down to that. Law enforcement did get there. He got arrested, got detained, and she says the embassy was contacted and he's currently not in Houston, and that's all she can share for now. Luckily this story has a somewhat happy ending. They got arrested and got kicked out of Houston, hopefully also put behind bars. But there's a lot more to talk about here that I'd like to get into, and that's the law enforcement's response to stalking. One thing that's remained consistent across every single story of a Twitch streamer sharing their, their personal experience with stalkers, the one thing that is a constant is that law enforcement doesn't do anything about it. In extremely rare cases, they'll allow them to get a restraining order, but even that's super uncommon, it seems. They just don't take it seriously. I understand, like, stalking and, like, trying to act on it as law enforcement is a pretty tough situation to be in because, it's not Minority Report where they can tell who's going to commit a crime before it happens or whatever. They're not Tom Cruise. And that's kind of the same thing here with stalking. They're trying to prevent a crime or an escalation without it having happened yet, so they don't have all of, like, the evidence to tell them, like, it's going to happen, so it makes it tough for them to actually act. But I really think in situations like this, they should be a lot more understanding and accepting of evidence. This guy streamed 44 days worth of continuous stalking and harassment, and it's all documented, all of it shared, and yet they still didn't take it seriously until he showed up at the residence, and even when he was there actively trying to break in, they didn't show up for 33 minutes and didn't take it seriously. There needs to be some kind of new way of handling this kind of situation, or it's going to continue and get worse. Another streamer named Sweet Anita also had a similar problem with a stalker, except law enforcement was somehow even more inept here when it came to the situation. This stalker would publicly threaten her, send her threatening messages about how he's gonna kill her, gut her, use a knife and slit her open, and just like crazy, unhinged shit. And in real life, would actually sit outside of her house and follow her around and even tried to assault her. And still, law enforcement didn't take it seriously for the longest fucking time. It's like law enforcement's hands are tied until they actually commit the crime and kill the person. But when there's this many red flags, why not act preventatively? Like, why not have a preventative measure in place? Like, okay, this guy is publicly making threats, sending these threats about how he's gonna kill her, and is actively sitting outside her fucking house. Maybe we should do something about this individual. So yeah, I just think there needs to be some kind of system in place to be a bit harder on stalking, where when there's this much evidence of like threats, and then like actually acting on some of the things they're saying in the real world, they need to take that more seriously and be harder on it. Like, if you actually show up, you're getting arrested. If you're within 5 miles of this person, you're getting arrested. Like I said, sometimes there's restraining orders, sometimes they trespass the individual, but even in those cases, it's pretty uncommon they even do that much. So I just think they need to be a little bit more intense on their stalking laws in order to prevent an actual tragedy from occurring. And it's happened before. There's plenty of cases where stalkers have been reported, law enforcement didn't act, and then the stalker ends up killing the victim. Most recently, I think it was last year, and I think this was in the UK, there was a teenager that reported a stalker 5 times and then even got fined 90 euros for wasting law enforcement's time, and then the stalker ended up killing them. A complete failure from the law enforcement there. And that's not an isolated case, it's happened before. I just think in general, there's more the law enforcement agencies can be doing to prevent something like that when it comes to stalking. And then another thing that I'd like to mention is why there seems to be so many stalkers on Twitch in particular. And I think that's because, and I've said this before, you're interacting directly with the streamer you're watching. So for mentally unwell individuals, they get this false sense that they're now friends, and in certain cases, lovers. So a lot of times you'll see these stalkers have the delusion that because they've donated to a streamer or they subbed to the streamer, they're now like romantically involved with each other. And that gives them some sense of entitlement. And when they realize that, the streamer doesn't feel that way about them and doesn't even know they exist, they start to get mad, lash out, and then you see all of these fucking wild, crazy messages and these threats that they'll make and these meltdowns. And it's terrible. You hate to see it. It's absolutely terrible. But it's not like the streamer's fault or anything. That's entirely just because there's so many people on Twitch. Some of them are bound to be mentally unwell and take these parasocial relationships to an extreme level. Parasocial relationships are bad. no exceptions, but they're even worse when the person believes they have control over the streamer or possession of them because they've donated money. Now they're dating and all of this, and then they find out that the streamer is, you know, romantically involved with someone else. In the real world, they lose it, go wild, and then ends up in these crazy stalking situations or whatever. It's just a terrible situation that's only been getting worse as Twitch continues to grow. It's not really a problem with the solution, though. There's not a whole lot Twitch can do to prevent that because they can't control the mental health of its users, right? And it's not the streamer's fault who are just streaming and then get someone that keeps donating to them and thinks that they're best friends or they're in love or something because of the money they've given. Like, there's not much you can really do there other than acknowledge, like, hey, look, I'm just a streamer. You know, I appreciate the support and the generosity, but this doesn't make us friends. You know, we're not in love. You know, I don't know you. Ludwig had a whole video called "I'm Not Your Friend," where he just says, like, parasocial relationships are bad. I appreciate that you come to the streams and are generous, but I'm not your friend. And that's really all you can do as a streamer, but that's not going to solve the problem either. There's still going to be those people that cross that line and think that, oh, we're best friends now because I watch them every day or I give them money, and then it ends up in these very awful scenarios and like even creates stalkers in some cases. It's just bad all around, and I don't know the solution to it, but I just wanted to at least highlight that it is a problem, but will hopefully stop being a problem in the near future. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this whole subject, and that's about it. So yeah. A couple days ago, a video went viral on TikTok. It's a creepy guy leaving a disturbing voicemail to a woman where he basically hypes himself up as the perfect man, and the lady was truly lucky that he graced her with his presence. He's the ultimate fucking alpha male, super masculine specimen, and he's taken time out of his busy day to send her a voicemail. And of course, this shit gets weird fast. He leaves multiple voicemails, and they get more and more aggressive and sinister. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is an interesting story here, full of a lot of twists and turns. It's like fucking Fight Club, but for a shitty pickup artist.
Yeah, hi there, Olga. It's Dimitri. Sorry I had to leave such a rushed message with you when we met the other day. I just want to quickly give you my phone number, and I had to get the heck out of the area.
Meet Dimitri the lover. He's the reason your panties are sodden right now. Be honest, if you received this voicemail, would you be able to resist him? Nobody can. No one has that kind of willpower. You would have to fuck him on the spot. So suave. And he's truly an expert of his craft. He makes himself sound so dark and mysterious. I had to give you my number and then get out of there. I had to get the heck out of there ASAP. I had to get out of town, scram and skedaddle. Why? What was so urgent that you needed to flee? What was the rush? Were you being chased by Batman? I mean, he sounds exactly like the Joker in the Dark Knight trilogy, so maybe.
In any event, I figure I better leave you a more detailed message and explain why I approached you. I am single. I have no trouble meeting women. I mean, women approach me 6-7 times a day. But I'm very particular about what I like. You're extremely elegant.
If a guy tells you he has no problem meeting women, then he has no problem meeting women. That guy is slaying pussy left and right. Dude probably has a threesome waiting for him at home, and you are lucky that he stepped away from that in order to talk to you. Spoken like a real alpha male here. No doubt this man's getting approached 6 to 7 times a day. No doubt in my fucking mind. That's probably on the low end. That's probably like during the off season. But I bet when spring break rolls around, maybe even St. Patrick's Day, he's getting upwards of 20 offers for sex.
I couldn't take my eyes off of you, and your friends were very jealous. Even if they say they weren't, they were envious of the fact that I approached you, and I was very taken by you. Elegant women are very rare. I'm Greek, and I'm very particular about what I like. So I'm giving you an opportunity here.
Sounds like he's about to pitch an NFT scam to her. It's like he's trying to sell her on some kind of multi-level marketing scheme. This dude talks like an anime villain who's explaining his plan to the protagonist. He's just so fucking weird. It sounds like Die Hard 3 every time Bruce Willis would pick up the payphone to talk to the terrorist. It's just so, like, unnerving listening to this guy talk. And then, of course, he goes into, your friends were jealous. Did you know that? I saw it in their eyes. They were so fucking envious of you when I approached you. They might say they weren't jealous, but that's just them lying. That's how you know they were actually really jealous. And you know what? You watching right now, if you want to make your friends jealous, Get on the wait list for the new G Fuel flavor. Finally have a custom flavor, Divine Peach. It's peach plus kiwi plus dragon fruit. For billions of years, the universe has been building and evolving, and now we finally reached the apotheosis of creation. Divine Peach, a new flavor from G Fuel. An exquisite concoction sent straight from heaven, made by the angels. Join the waitlist at gfuel.com. The link to join is in the description below.
I don't know if you pick up the messages on the weekend, but I'm working on a movie script, so I'm pretty much around all weekend doing that. I left you my number, 416-918-4. This looks like a landline, and if it is, you may not get the message till Monday, but when you do, call me, and then we'll get together for coffee and chat and let the romance begin.
What a great way to kick off a relationship. Let the romance begin. That's such a bold statement. It immediately lets the person know, I am here with romantic intent, and it's time to commence. Let the pussy flow, please. Where's your vagina? This is where the romance starts. Come on. Didn't you hear? I said let the romance begin. I think it's extremely effective. He's reinventing the relationship meta here. No guesswork anymore. Once they say let the romance begin, well then that shit better start. It's so fucking good. It's like a terribly written line in an old video game. Like some Resident Evil 2 shit. I would also love to read that movie script he said he was working on. I bet it was an actual masterpiece up there with The Room and Citizens Kane. But unfortunately, I think we all know he wasn't actually working on a movie script. He just said that to seem interesting and cool and unique. He was most likely just sitting in a dark room in his shit-stained underwear after hyping himself up in his bathroom mirror for over an hour, working up the courage to finally call the woman who made a grave mistake of giving her phone number to this psychopath.
You look very taken aback by my approach, and I hope that isn't timidness. I hope it was just a little bit of shock at being approached so directly, because I don't really date timid women, because I'm a very direct, very passionate, very assertive man, and I want a woman who's very independent and strong. So anyway, we'll talk about that, but I just wanted to formally introduce myself. Now I have. I leave the ball in your court. You call me as soon as you have the courage to. Okay, Olga? Talk to you soon. Bye.
This is a man who can date any woman in the world, and he's chosen her. How can you be so lucky? Some people win the lottery, some people win Dimitri, and you could argue that they're both about equal in terms of how lucky the person was. So, let me go ahead and reveal the big twist here. This is all genuine, this is real, it's not fake, it's not staged. But the twist is, this is not happening currently. This is about 10 years old, I think it's like 9 or 10 years old, and it comes from a pickup artist named James Sears, who also went by Dimitri the Lover when he was in the pickup artist game. He had his own little alias as Dimitri the Lover, and this was one of the voice messages he left to someone named Olga. That is not the lady in the TikTok here, and she's not trying to, like, deceive people or hide it. She, in another TikTok video after this, clarifies, like, hey, look, I'm not Olga. This is actually just an old sound clip from Dimitri the Lover, who actually sent this to someone named Olga. Now, James Sears, Dimitri the Lover, is in jail now. The most shocking thing I'm sure you've heard all day. I'm as surprised as you are. He was arrested for a bunch of hate speech related things and then rearrested after breaching parole. Now, I'm sure you all have a picture of what this guy looks like in your head right now, and I'm about to show you what he actually looks like, and I bet a huge amount of you are very close to what he looks like in the real world. He looks exactly like what you expect. Almost exactly like what I have pictured when I first heard this. So here he is. It's fucking wild, huh? He looks exactly like the caricature of a bad, goofy, creepy pickup artist would look.
Hi there, Olga. It's Dimitri calling again, the guy from the street. I left you a message several days ago. You said you were interested. Now, here's the way I work. I don't like leaving second messages, but I like you. You're a very elegant woman. You're very attractive. But, you know, I don't play that game. I know your friends tell you not to return calls. You're playing games like you see on stupid TV shows. So here's how it's going to work.
You just made Dimitri leave a second voicemail. God help you. Your soul is in jeopardy now. Dimitri doesn't like to leave 2 voicemails. In fact, the last time Dimitri left 2 voicemails, he cried. You gonna make him cry again? Dimitri doesn't like to cry. You can hear him starting to get angry. He starts saying, this is how it's gonna go. So we're getting to experience in real time the transformation of a nice guy into a bad boy.
It is now 4:30 on Wednesday. Now I'll assume that you've already left work, because, you know, some people leave early, and I'll grant you that. But if I do not receive a phone call back from you by 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, I'm no longer interested, and you can erase my number. I don't play games like that. I'm completely single. I'm very intelligent.
Hey, listen, Dimitri, you don't have to tell us that you're intelligent. We all get that impression here. Just listening to you, I think we can all recognize that your IQ is at least 5 figures. Like, that shit is huge. That is a galaxy brain you're working with.
I'm great in bed. I make great money. Believe it or not, I'm a complete catch. I've only been single 4 months. I had a long-distance relationship. You know, went a year. It's very tough to maintain it like that, and it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong.
Undoubtedly, he is the complete package. This truly is a huge catch here for Olga. I can't believe the long-distance relationship didn't work out. I bet this guy was doing everything he could to make it work. But it is difficult to keep that going when the long-distance relationship is Dimensions with that 2D waifu kind of shit. But, you know, I'm sure he had a good time and it was mutual. And now Olga had a chance, but she blew it. You know, she didn't call back in a timely fashion, and Dimitri had to leave 2 voicemails, and from there, the whole ass was blown off of this operation here, and there was no salvaging the relationship. They could have been a great couple. They could have been married by now. And this is where the TikTok video ends, but the legend of Dimitri the Lover doesn't stop there. There's actually still quite a bit from Dimitri the Lover, but I won't get into it today because there's a lot. He was kind of popular on the internet as a punching bag. I was vaguely familiar of him like 10 years ago or something. I knew the name at least a little bit. So there is more, but we won't go over it today. Maybe at some point we'll go through more of his voicemails and shit that he used to do, but for now, that's about it. See ya. About 4 or 5 months ago, there was a TikTok account that I was made aware of. I won't say the name of it, nor will I say the name of the channel that I'm about to talk about here. And as always, please don't go and harass this person. But the TikTok account, it was basically one guy going into these pseudo-intellectual takes trying to break down why women are the way they are, implying that they're stupid and built differently, making them inferior to men, saying things like they can't get close to God like men can, and that they can't be trusted. Just horrible shit. He'd also imply that they only care about big dick and a lot of dick. And like, yeah, the only way to get laid is by having a huge sledgehammer penis. Science confirmed it. It's just like really alarmingly terrible shit. And over time it became more and more clear that this guy just doesn't like women. He seems to just hate women. Just really awful shit. He eventually got banned for it, luckily. But now he's taken that filth and put it on YouTube. And I just wanted to share a little bit of it with you. So this is a video of his called "Women Are Not Real." And I don't like to use this word, but this is the epitome of incel shit.
Women are the physical manifestation of sensory perception. And in the same sense that when your senses are overloaded in any particular way, whether they're overloaded with pleasure or overloaded with pain, if your senses keep receiving that same stimulus over and over, you are not going to have as strong of a reaction to that same stimulus.
None of that meant anything. Everything he said there had actual no meaning behind it. It's just a lot of fucking nothing. You just took a bite out of a nothing burger that this guy fed you out of his ass. He so desperately wants to sound smart and it's just not working. I also can't tell if he's 15 or in his 20s. It's impossible to know for sure, but it looks like he's still going through puberty.
In this same sense, being that women are the physical manifestations of this phenomenon, that is why women's value must be preserved. They can't be trusted to handle anything of greater responsibility, anything of greater importance than daily household chores and taking care of babies. Not taking care of children, taking care of babies.
Well, that sounds a bit alarming, a bit of a red flag, but who am I to question the expert? Just look at the amount of books he has on his shelves. This guy's clearly a genius. He also even has some cursed ancient Egyptian relics back there for some reason, like the fucking Millennium Puzzle or something. So, I mean, he must know what he's talking about. He seems very, very knowledgeable. When I first heard this, I was convinced it had to be a troll, but the more and more I look into this guy, the more clear it becomes that this guy has just actually been indoctrinated into the incel shit. He comes out right away and just says the only thing women can handle is household chores and babies. Holy shit.
Because once babies turn into children, that's when the psychological development comes into place, which far exceeds the capabilities that women are able to provide for the child. But going back to the value preservation, women's value has to be preserved, while a man's value has to be created. Women are born with inherent value, men are born with no value, or next to no value.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, men really got the short end of the stick. We have no value compared to women. Who the fuck hurt this guy? I find it hard to believe he's ever talked to a woman, so I don't think he has like a real world experience getting like his heart broken or something, causing this kind of monster he's become. I really think he's probably just been terminally online and then just started adopting the incel beliefs.
The reason a woman has inherent value is because her value is based on her fertility. To put it bluntly, that's what it's based on. Women's value is based on their fertility. That's why it's in the best interest of a woman not to waste her inherent value and try to lock down a high value man, or a man who looks like he's on his way to becoming high value, as soon as she can.
That's right, ladies. Time is running out. You're missing your chance with this high value alpha male. Like, what are you waiting for? Your ovaries are drying up. Your pussy, it's gonna turn to dust unless you let this guy put his dick in it. So, you're fucking up. You're losing a high value male by waiting around. Come on, he's just right around the corner over there.
But like I said, the more experiences, whether positive or negative, that a woman goes through decreases her value, because women cannot handle the stresses or the pleasures of life.
Yeah, ladies, you're supposed to stay locked in a fucking isolation chamber, a sensory deprivation tank, and wait for this fucking angel to grace you with his huge wiener. Alright? The more times you're having fun, the more times that you're maybe being sad, the less valuable you are. So stop having experiences, okay? Just exist in a fucking ball and wait for this man to ride in on his white stallion with a chariot and his dick and balls out and take you off your feet. So that way he can breed. God damn it, stop being so selfish and having experiences, you harpies. I'm obviously cutting some parts of this video out because he just drones on and on and on and on. So I'm trying to just get all of his main points here, and my god is it absolute lunacy.
The more stress she goes through, the more she sees the world as nothing more than a negative place. And I've mentioned this in a previous video, but it's because women are not able to connect with God in the same way that men are. Women are not able to renew themselves mentally. They see everything on earth through the lens of the material.
What in tarnation? I must have missed that lesson in Sunday school, but he's blown the case wide open. Apparently women just can't connect to God the same way men can. And if you can't have a good connection to God like this guy does, I mean, you're fucked. What's the point? You don't have any value. Over and over and over again, this guy harps on the belief that he thinks women are too stupid to handle anything. He doesn't even view them as humans, it sounds like. He literally views them as like machines to pump out babies. All he says is that women aren't capable of handling experiences. That's like his main point right now. They don't have the same mental fortitude that men do, nor do they have the same connection to God that men have. Like, what the fuck is even wrong with you to think that for a second?
They see everything on earth through the lens of sensory perception. If something doesn't excite them enough, then it's not a good thing. If something stresses them out too much, then it's also not a good thing. Everything has to be new, everything has to be fresh, everything has to be exciting all the time, 100% of the time, otherwise it's bad. That's how women see the world. They don't have an accurate lens of reality through which they see the world. They just don't see reality.
Oh, but this guy sees reality. Yeah, this guy's really grounded in reality. This guy is so perceptive to reality. He's like Doctor Strange. He can see every possible reality in the known multiverse. Oh my god. And then he talks about women like they're all exactly the same, just fucking clones of each other. He can't even wrap his head around the idea that people are different and not just what he reads about on these weird fucking subreddits.
They interpret the quality of reality through the type of sensory input they're receiving. That's why girls don't work out. You ever wonder why the vast majority of women don't work out? They're fortunate enough to be born with a nice looking body, and then it just wastes away. They don't work out. They could preserve their body a little bit by working out.
Well, you heard it here first from this sculpted Adonis who only films from above the nipples to hide lack of muscle definition. No woman has ever worked out, or at least not many of them.
But that's why. It's because it hurts. Working out hurts. And since women only interpret the world through sensory perception, anything that hurts is a bad thing. They can't handle it. They literally can't handle working out. That's how strongly this influences their mind. And just as when I was saying earlier, when a woman goes through too many negative experiences, she's not able to renew herself because women are not as connected to God. They're not able to refresh themselves psychologically. They're not able to detach themselves from the material world.
Yeah, you suck. You just fucking suck. Blows my mind that somebody like this not only exists, but also is delusional enough to post it online. Just literally put his face on this garbage. I can't imagine this is super helpful for him in his career if he has one, or if he's trying to make a career out of getting professionally banned on TikTok repeatedly.
So do pleasure experiences. If a woman has the best sex of her life with a guy, she will never be able to enjoy another man again.
Oh, so that's what happened here. The old 2-inch glory wand isn't getting the job done? The old skin flute ain't performing the way it used to? Now you just need to find something to blame? Okay. Now we're starting to put together the pieces of this jigsaw puzzle.
Even pleasurable experiences are too much for the woman to handle because they cannot refresh themselves. They can't see men in a new light. They can't appreciate different aspects of the man. All they see is whoever gives them the most dick, whoever gives them the most exciting experience.
I wonder if this guy actually believes that all women are just this wiener-hungry monster that's just constantly, like, foaming at the mouth for more cock to munch on. But it's never his wiener. You know, like, I can't imagine that he truly thinks that the only thing that matters to a woman is a penis. Like, how delusional. My god. I cut out a really long section where he just goes into divorce court, and to be fair, divorce court's pretty corrupt, like a lot of things. I don't think there's many people that would argue that divorce court is great, but he goes from that right back into, the only thing women care about is dick. Who gives them the most dick? They collect dick like Pokemon cards. My dick's good enough, goddammit!
Whoever takes her on the most expensive date, on the more expensive date, he's the one who's gonna take the cake. She will forever look at every other date after that with a sense of pity. You ever notice how girls who've been ran through or just more attractive girls tend to look at men with a sense of resentment or a sense of pity?
Bro, they look at you with a sense of resentment and pity because you are pathetic and creepy. Like, it's not... You make all of these massive generalizations. It's nutty. The things this guy says and the points that he makes are things that you would have read in Elliot Rodgers' manifesto. It's dangerous shit to actually fall into this pit where you think women are only here for men's pleasure and they only care about 3 things: dick, money, and height. I don't know if he even mentions height. I don't remember in the rest of the video, but he's already talked about how they only care about the biggest dick, the most dick, whoever has the most money.
Or they look at nice guys definitely with a sense of pity as well. It's almost like, oh, it's so cute. Look at him trying so hard. He thinks this is actually impressing me. Look at him trying so hard to impress me. Why is he trying? It's almost like they're confused. They're like, why is he trying so hard to impress me? What have I done to deserve such effort? Even they are not confused about the amount of value they provide. Even they understand that they are ruined. Even they understand that their value has gone out the window. It went out the window with the first 100 guys they slept with. And I do mean 100.
God, it's so fucking painful. Even women in their dumb, small brains understand that they're ruined because they didn't fuck me. Even they understand with their primitive understanding of God and sensory perception can understand they're not worth the effort of a nice guy. Ugh. It's so gross.
Therefore, women are naturally going to have more options. It just makes it seem like that. That's why women's egos are through the roof. That's why the moment they don't get this attention, they go fucking nuts. Because it's been that way their entire lives. Don't be fooled. Even they understand that their value is gone. That's why they don't like guys treating them with appreciation. That's why they don't like guys treasuring them. Because they know they're not treasures.
This guy's definitely undergone a transformation. He's digivolved from nice guy to fucking creepy cult leader weird man who don't like women no more.
They know they're not worthy of that treatment, but they're in such denial. Women are masters of self-denial. They don't deny themselves anything. They'll take anything they can get. Women say men will fuck anything, and then be the anything that gets fucked.
This guy's heart has been broken many times. It's like the Grinch with Christmas. Just can't stand it now, huh? He just really can't even tolerate a woman from the sound of it. And I have to wonder, how does this all tie into the title, Women Are Not Real? Everything he's saying here still confirms their existence. I understand it's supposed to be like a clickbaity title, but I mean at least like relatively connect the two in some way.
It's so funny because for all the resentment towards men that ran through women have, they sure do seem to have sex with them all the time. They'll still take anything they can get. It's not like they turn down men's advances. It's not like,
oh, so it must be pretty easy to get laid if women aren't allowed to say no. Apparently, no woman has ever turned down a man's advances. Because then he goes on to say that they just fuck anything that moves. So, wow, I mean, I guess it's pretty fucking easy. You just gotta take that first step, like, hey, sex? And it should work out just fine.
They're able to make it seem like they're just victims and really the men are the perpetrators. Things are much more nuanced and complex than the vast majority of people will ever realize, much less admit to. But I don't want to ramble on for too long. I think I've spoken on this long enough.
He is right about one thing. He rambled on for way too fucking long. It was a chore to sit through this video. And to really add insult to injury, he uses an anime profile pic of Johann Liebert from Monster, which is a pretty good anime, and a pretty fitting profile pic for this guy, I think, because he strikes me as a psychopath. Like, the shit he says is so disconnected from reality, while trying his best to convince himself that he's the only one living in reality. His big bombshell point he makes at the end, which I completely cut out because it's too stupid, was women have more options than men. They can have more sex than men when they want to. That was like his big gotcha at the end and treated it like it was some huge government secret. Such a fucking wild ride of a video. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya. I've got good news and bad news, and I've always found it's better to get the bad news first. Just go raw and no rubber and hit you with the cold water right away. Force feed you the vegetables so that way the dessert tastes even better. The bad news, I'm about to show you an insufferable asshole, perhaps one of the most miserable people to listen to on the planet. The good news, he's about to be arrested. Let me introduce you to Johnny. Johnny is the epitome of turbo virgin. I know this word gets tossed around a lot, but he is a self-proclaimed incel and one of YouTube's most prolific stalkers / woman harassers. This goofy goober looks like if Raymundo from Rocket Power and Tommy Wiseau did a fusion dance and created the world's most socially inept asshole. Now, Johnny's whole shtick was he would wait outside of bars, clubs, and even parking garages, literally just fucking live in parking garages, until he saw the slightest hint of a human female nearby. And then he would get his phone out and start recording himself following them, insulting them, and demanding they fuck him. And he'd follow them for what felt like miles. These videos would go on for so long, and always it would end up the same. Them threatening to get the authorities involved because they were literally scared for their lives around this guy because he was completely unhinged. And he continued this shit for about a year. I've known about his pitiful existence for quite some time, but just never really wanted to bring any attention to it for obvious reasons. But now, he pushed the envelope a bit too far and flew a bit too close to the sun, and his tiny little micro dick burned up. He actually assaulted a woman who defended herself from him. He pepper sprayed her, and it was after he instigated the entire conflict. And now that video has surfaced and the authorities have gotten involved and they're looking to arrest him and potentially charge him with assault with a deadly weapon as well as a hate crime and the discharge of tear gas. The article also alleges that he was recently arrested after getting kicked out of a club with his friend, and while getting escorted out basically claimed white power and some other shit like that, which sounds par for the course for a fucking homunculus like this guy. Imagine evolving for millions upon millions of years and ending up like Johnny. What a bad fucking deal. Just an actual shit stain on the planet. But anyway, I'd like to show you the video that is going to lead to his arrest. What triggered it all here and started this chain reaction where finally it looks like he will no longer be terrorizing innocent people on the streets.
Can I hang out with you?
My guy just stole my car, so he's...
Where'd he go? Newport Coast? Huh? Can I hook up with you? What kind of vagina do you have? Is it an innie or an outie? Does it have beef curtains?
I'm gonna call the cops if you don't.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're annoying, dude.
Why are you calling me?
Because I wanna fuck.
That's his real voice, by the way. He's not putting on some kind of show, he's not playing a character. He genuinely sounds like one of the Looney Tunes character, Inhaled Helium, forever. It actually just sounds like he's making fun of a stereotypical incel demanding tindies from mommy. That is just his normal state of being. He does it unironically. Man's collected all the infinity stones of cringe and ascended to a level beyond pathetic. I'll go ahead and play the rest of the clip.
My fat ass cock is ready to get hard for you.
Cops are coming right
Why would you call the cops on me, bro? I'm just speaking.
It doesn't matter.
Fuck you, you little bitch, you little void. Oh, you little... Whoa, what's wrong with you? Chill out, chill out, chill out. Hey, chill out. Chill out. Chill out. You just kicked me in the balls. You back up. You back up. You back up. Throw that at me, you're gonna...
It's an absolute shame that he didn't lose his footing and fall down the stairs in front of him. I've never prayed so hard for shoelaces to malfunction in my life. So yeah, the guy's obviously a coward. He carries pepper spray because he'll push people to the absolute edge, and when they finally do, like, defend themselves, he'll just pepper spray them. Now, of course, there's almost zero people in the world that like this guy and can stand to be around him. I imagine even his own parents drink themselves into a dreamless slumber every single night, just regretting the day that they conceived this failure. But I did see on Twitter a couple of people blame the woman here, saying she assaulted him first. Now, of course, Twitter is just this disgusting cum dumpster of the most brain-rotted clowns imaginable, but I did want to at least talk about it. There's such a drastic difference between throwing a shoe after being verbally harassed for however many minutes before filming, because he was doing this even before he started filming. This is only a piece of the video. To be harassed that long and then just respond by throwing a shoe is completely different than getting fucking pepper sprayed. It just can't even be compared. That's like if a kid shot a spitball at you and you responded by hitting them with a sledgehammer. Pepper spray is hardcore. It's a legitimately painful experience. From everyone I've ever known to be pepper sprayed, they have said it's the most painful thing they've ever experienced. Luckily, I haven't been pepper sprayed, but I know from what I've seen and the people that I know that it is something that isn't just laughed off or something trivial. So it's just not even in the same ballpark. And she did it in what I consider to be self-defense. This was like 3 a.m., the witching hour, don't summon Freddy Fazbear at 3 a.m. kind of shit. Like, this is haunted. This guy is hanging out at a parking garage in the middle of the night, being fucking creepy and weird, saying things like my hard cock is ready for you and shit like that. You don't know what he's gonna do. That is a dangerous person. So to like get him away from you and throw a shoe, I think is like an appropriate response. And especially because he already proved you can't just walk away from the confrontation, because he had just previously followed a woman all the way to her car who was panicking, making up a story about having her car stolen and visibly uncomfortable and worried for her own fucking life. So her trying to scare him away like a pigeon on the beach was really like the only thing she could do to like diffuse the situation and make him stop. And then he responded by ruining his life with the pepper spray, because now he'll be arrested for it, and I cannot fucking wait. I think that is extremely exciting news that this guy is finally going to face some serious repercussions for this shit, because it's been going on for quite some time. He has a long history of doing this shit without remorse, and this is beyond deserved. I'd like to show you just one more clip that survived when his channel got nuked. This is just another example of the kind of shit that he would do on a regular basis.
Hey, are you single?
Sorry, what?
Are you single?
Oh, you think I'm hot?
Oh, I didn't say that.
You don't think I'm hot?
I can't even see you without my glasses.
Oh, really? Do you live here?
I don't even know here.
Do you want to hang out?
Probably not right now because I'm not even.
What are you gonna do later? Sleep? Can I come sleep with you? You don't want a massage?
No, I'm good.
Luckily, she eventually escapes from the 7th circle of hell there, but this was his content. This is all he would do. He would just wait to find women pretty much anywhere, really, and make them as scared and uncomfortable as possible and film it. That was his entire existence. That was his whole purpose. And now it's finally over. Can finally breathe a nice sigh of relief. You won't accidentally see this man sitting on a fucking park bench somewhere and ruining your day. So I just wanted to share the both bad and good news here. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah. Garfield likes lasagna. I like to make fun of weirdos. Big whoop. What, you want to sue me for that? What's the charge? Enjoying a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Point is, I keep my finger on the pulse of wackos and weenies, and I like to shoot spitballs at them. And today, there was a pretty dangerous weirdo that stream sniped a group that was doing some IRL content in the hopes that he would get one of their numbers, and when faced with rejection, he blew a gasket, had a conniption, and it got ballistic quick. So let's go ahead and start with the genesis here, where we were first introduced to this homunculus. It was in the middle of an IRL stream with Senna, Valky, Ray, and Imiru, and then this very interesting gentle sir approached them.
Oh, I think 3 years.
And I came at like 6 in the morning.
Oh, is that,
yeah.
Is that Emily? Is that?
No way. Yo, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay. Let's get a picture. Wait, but can I rap to you real quick?
It starts innocently enough. He approaches the group as if he just wandered across them by happenstance and says, "Can I get a picture?" And he seems, you know, well behaved. Nothing too concerning here at all. Like, there was nothing he was doing in the beginning that was cause for alarm. But this was just the calm before the storm, the fart before the shit.
This is Senna. Hello.
I was waiting for it.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. My name's Russell.
Hi, nice to
Ray.
meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Emily, could you take
Rosie.
a photo?
Rosie, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. My name's Russell.
Okay.
Russell.
She can take a pic.
Oh, we can't because we have a.
We actually we're on a time.
What stuff
yeah,
you gotta
we're
do?
on a time limit. So.
There's no time frame.
Did you want to pic?
Oh, sorry. Excuse us.
Sorry.
Okay, so.
Do you need a photo?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He shakes all of their hands, and then he just kind of posts up there. He just slabs up, standing there menacingly, doing nothing. And Rosie reminds him, like, "Hey, picture? You know, that's the whole reason you stopped us in the first place." And he's like, "Oh, right, yeah, that's what I was doing. Picture, yeah, of course, of course."
Why do they say rhyme?
Because his name's Russell.
Did you call me Russell?
No, his name is Russell.
Oh!
She's had a long week.
I am running on like 3 hours of sleep. Please forgive me. My brain is actually like lagged.
Alright, fuck. Let's take a picture. Fuck it, let's get one, Rosie. Come on.
Cute!
Okay.
Rosie too!
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Russell.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Good night. Oh, he's so sweet.
Russell's a nice guy.
This was their first encounter with the raid boss Rizlord, and you can see that they didn't get the heebie-jeebies or anything. They even walked away saying, "Russell is a nice guy." He said his name was Russell, so they were saying he was nice. But they couldn't have known how poorly that statement would age. It's kind of like Jar Jar Binks, where you thought he was just an innocent, goofy thing, but it turns out was actually a Sith Lord the entire time. So, after they met him here, some time passes, and they eventually encounter him again, but this time, he's wearing different clothes.
Yes, please.
Oh God.
Oh God, yes, that is. Can I sing for a change? A change for the better, as you would say?
Okay.
And the change would be for her number.
Oh.
O is right. Stomach churning anti-riz. Yuck. Ooh, that's rough stuff right there. He said, "Can I sing for a change? A change for the better, as you would say. A change for her number." Shakespeare just rolled over in his grave. That is poetic. What? Wow. What a way with words. I don't even know how you can cook up something so foul. It's just trash. Like, pardon me, miladies. I attend slightly above average sized penis university. I'm on the dean's list. May I interest you in my number?
If you'd like it, can I get your number?
I don't have a phone. I'm sorry.
Wait, put your number in mine.
I don't know how to use a phone. I'm sorry.
Wait. Wait, so I'm gonna keep following her.
Huh?
I'm gonna keep following her.
Not another one!
No! You're gonna have to get in line. There's too many stalkers.
That's not how you really riz.
Bro, what the fuck?
That's not the riz.
What an excellent way of handling rejection. I'm gonna keep following her. No doubt that will work. I'm sure pestering her to put her number in your phone is the optimal play there.
Get behind me! Okay. Oh my god.
Kendrick.
Are we getting churros?
Kendrick, add him to the list.
So the group is walking away from him. He apparently is in hot pursuit, and he is steaming. At first, it seemed like he tried to, like, play it off as not that big of a deal, and he, like, used stalking as somewhat of, like, a joke because he was laughing about it. But that fake laughter soon turned to real tears, real anger, and made a real dangerous situation where he threatened to kill them.
I think we're just gonna go.
Let's go. Oh, no, we're not. No. What's up, bro? Hey, excuse me?
No!
Security?
Emily, no.
Hey,
stop!
Whoa.
Let's fucking fight right now.
What?
Right.
Get away from
now.
Hey, what's going on?
Security!
He's harassing us.
What's going on? What's going on, man?
Right now. I'll kill you right now.
Fuck off.
Kill you right now.
Security, please.
Security!
That's where the stream ended. They said that the police had arrived and everyone was alright. There's a lot to unpack there. So, the guy who just got rejected, he stayed on their tail like it was a fucking Assassin's Creed escort mission, and you can hear him arguing with someone saying, "I'll fight you right now." It continues to escalate to where he starts to, like, run at them, or maybe, like, lunge at them, like it's a fucking Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare where he's, like, going after them now, saying, "I'll kill you right now, I'll kill you right now." It sounds and seems like security was there stopping him from going after the group further. It's just a scary situation from top to bottom. All because Imiru didn't give this weirdo stranger her number. And he just freaked out, threatened to kill them, chased them, just deranged shit. And I've also seen, of course, I don't even know why I bothered to bring it up, but I was reading the conspiracies on this from the crowd that thinks it was all staged and fake and they're trying to find this actor's backstage page. So that's been kind of a fun little rabbit hole to dive into. As a actor, I starred in the Hunger Games. I don't like to bring it up all that much. Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 District 8 Hospital Helper. I can recognize acting when I see it. That dude is not acting. He needs to be institutionalized. That man is a fucking loose cannon. I've also seen some people turn this around on the streamers saying that it's their fault. They brought it upon themselves. They were asking for it by not having security guards with them, like surrounded by bodyguards. A fascinating perspective to argue that they're to blame. Like, you were out at night. It's like covering yourself in meat and diving into the ocean. You think a man's not going to attack you if you're not surrounded by bodyguards? Are you out of your mind? Obviously this is going to happen. And it's like, well, it shouldn't. That doesn't excuse it. Like, it's not something that should be considered normal, that a dude's just gonna fucking threaten to kill them and, like, chase them around, threatening to kill them if you don't give him your number. That's not something we should just be expecting and think is normal. Like, I understand in the streaming space, There's a lot of like huge streamers that when they do IRL content do travel with security. But it's not every IRL streamer that does, because when you're doing content like this, typically you're thinking about the content or like what you're going to do. You're just having fun with friends. You're not exactly thinking about like the potential maniac on the loose that's going to just fucking come out of nowhere and go hog wild if you don't give him your number. So, like, yes, I understand security has become much more normal for streamers when they're out in public, but it's not every streamer that has it, and I don't think by not having it, you should be blamed if something happens. Like, I think that is a crazy perspective to have, that it's their fault because they didn't have security. I don't agree with that take at all. Yeah, security obviously would have helped, and I imagine going forward, they probably won't go outside again on stream without, like, a whole fucking security unit, like the Justice League defending them or something, because this was, I imagine, a very stressful and scary situation to be in, because that guy could have had a weapon or something, right? But it's really ridiculous to blame them for this by not having a security team. I think that shit is so ass backwards. Anyway, though, no telling what happened after the stream went out. All we know is the police did arrive and everyone was safe. Don't know if they brought the dude in or what, but they said they were going to go live here today to kind of talk about what happened and all of that. So I guess we'll get more information then, but luckily everyone is safe, and yeah, this guy is a fucking dangerous weirdo loser. That's about it. So yeah. I remember a decade or so ago, there was this trend where some creepy, degenerate losers would go around in public and try and sneakily take pictures of women's panties by sliding their phone under their dress when they weren't paying attention. They treated it like they were Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell on a stealth mission trying to grab these photographs. And they'd take these pictures and they were called upskirts. If I remember correctly, there was even a Reddit community for that where they would proudly post this, which, by the way, is illegal. They were posting evidence of a crime they had committed on the subreddit. I'm pretty sure it got fully shut down, but right now there is like a Reddit upskirts community, but I think that's something totally different, like a phoenix that rose from those ashes, because it looks like those are upskirts that the people are taking of themselves for that community. But I do remember that there was a huge controversy about that a long time ago, and then pretty much overnight it disappeared. Just like Godzilla after a big rampage, it just vanished. I'd never heard about upskirts again. I never read any headlines about anyone doing upskirts, getting like arrested or anything like that, until 2 days ago, with a Target creep who got caught on video taking an upskirt of another shopper. And it's become a pretty big story now. So when I first saw this, I thought it was fake. I thought it was like one of those rage bait things that TikTok does really often. Because it really looks, it's so over the top, like I really thought it was staged to be like a lesson, like don't be a peeping Tom, don't be like this guy. But it turns out this is all super real. So he's now facing felony charges for this, obviously. I don't know why there's a watermark here though.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress. Absolutely you did.
No, ma'am, I really wasn't.
You absolutely did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't.
So, like, he looks pretty much right at her while she's filming, and he puts his phone under her dress. So I really thought it was like, oh, this is a skit. This is fake. But no, this guy is just that much of a brazen pervert. Degenerate. It's actually real. So I'll show you the follow-up in a second, but no, he actually leaves here in handcuffs. He is facing felony charges, and his whole life is ruined. Rightfully so, because who knows how many times he's done this. Upskirts are a crime. Like, you can't be doing that, obviously. He's a fucking degenerate. His legs shaking, that's wild. Oh yeah, we didn't finish the video, yeah. And also, instead of leaving, he stays to try and, like, talk his way out of it. Like, he was trying to find all the right dialogue options in the tree to get the good ending, instead of just running away like most people like him. So he stays the entire time to get arrested.
I really promise I wasn't trying to do anything inappropriate. I wasn't. I really wasn't. I'm not like that.
Obviously you are. I literally have it on video.
But ma'am, I'm not. I really am not. Like, I know it might have seemed that way in like the video.
No, it's just... Okay, listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
we're going to wait for them to get here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like, I was just trying to look
Nope.
at books.
I was just trying to look at books. Okay. That's... what an interesting alternate theory there. He's just browsing some good reads. That's all. In the Pokemon cards section, where all the best books are. Does bro know porn exists? There's so many people like this, though. It's for them, I think, it's like the thrill of doing something like this. Like, I imagine this probably isn't the only time he's done it. And apparently he had been following the lady filming around the entire time, which is why she's filming here, because she got a very creepy vibe from this guy. And then I guess at some point she de-aggroed him, so then he went to this girl, started following her, and then did this.
No, I have video of him sticking his phone underneath this lady's dress as she had bent over, videotaping her. And he followed me all around the store.
Okay. So...
We need to get police.
Okay, if you can go ahead and call them also.
Oh, they don't have the next one. But he gets taken away in handcuffs. But he gets taken away from the target with the police. Turns out he was like a very active member of the church, like the local church they were at. This and that. He tried to talk his way out of it. It has not worked, and now he's facing some super serious charges. But this was something that I found interesting. He keeps denying that he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he apparently showed the police his phone, like the recent pictures, and he didn't have any recent pictures, but I don't know if that also means videos, or if he also had time to delete them. Last I heard, they subpoenaed to get like his deleted information for forensic examination. And they also said this too. Police say they have yet to discover anything inappropriate involving children. Yeah, he's a volunteer at the elementary school. Arrested and cuffed at a fucking library. Show some respect, brother. He's a target. Why was the lady taking a video in the grocery store? Perfect time to catch him. Damn it, it's a Target. It's not just a grocery store, and it's not just a library. Show some respect. But as she said, she was filming him because he was initially following her around in the children's section. She got a creepy vibe, so she started filming him and following him around and then caught that. This. Imagine the unexpected turn of events. He didn't film anything. The charges against that poor lady would be crazy. Even if in the most unlikely of circumstances he didn't film anything, him putting the phone under this lady's dress still shows the intent. Like, even if he didn't hit record, like he missed it, he still showed the intent. And even if you can't arrest him for that, he's still going to be ostracized from like his church community and like his friends for that. That's creepy shit no matter what. I don't think he was recording. I think they hear the click of a photo being taken. Nope. Actually, I don't know if this is true. Chat can tell me if this is true or not. When I was reading through the story after I found out it was real, I learned that this was a pretty popular thing overseas. So I think in Japan, I think is where it was, they instituted this mandate that if you're taking a picture or a video, it has to have a sound. So you can't do this discreetly anymore because it makes a sound. And I thought that was the craziest shit. That's real? That is true? That's wild. It was that big of a problem, huh? US supermarkets have the same energy as random encounters in GTA. My dad died taking an upskirt photo. Alright. Interesting meme. So he's actually facing some additional charges as well for secret peeping. They issued a warrant after identifying 3 separate victims at the store on Monday morning, so he's facing 5 counts of secret peeping in total. Dude was really creeping and peeping on a Monday morning here. Allegedly 3 separate victims? Goodness gracious, Jesus Christ. He was just sliding his phone under everyone with a pulse at this store, I guess. But anyway, he's been caught red-handed here. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling iPhones that can also record him as well. Like, the crazy thing about a phone is it can be used for more than just filming panties. It can film you filming panties. So I guess we'll see what happens here. I highly doubt there's any alternate explanation for what he was doing in this video. I can't think of a single possible other reason for why he did what he did there aside from upskirts. That's the only logical thing. I can't even think of some kind of ridiculous theory. Never mind, scratch that. I did come up with a ridiculous theory. What if he wasn't grabbing upskirts there and instead saw a very venomous spider on the ground? He saw a black widow and he got down there calmly as to not scare the shopper or scare the spider away and then smashed it with his phone. Who knows? Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's what he did. He squished a bug and saved the day. Obviously, I'm fucking kidding with that. The only thing that can explain his behavior here is that he is a sexual degenerate that was grabbing upskirts. So I guess we'll see what charges stick here or what comes from this story. That's really about it. I just wanted to share it. That's it. See ya. Stand back, I'm being brave. Stalkers are bad. Just deranged individuals, absolute sick weirdos. And I just learned about a new stalker I didn't know existed until Matt sent me this video where he went to court and immediately just proclaimed he's guilty as charged. It's Caitlin Clark's stalker. And this guy looks like he was biologically engineered to end up as a lunatic stalker. He looks exactly like what you imagine, like that caricature you make in your head, of an obsessed loser.
Morning, Mr. Lewis.
Guilty as
No. Sir, this is initial hearing.
Oh.
We are not. You have a right to remain silent, and I expect you to exercise that. Okay, this is just telling you what the charges are. You do not listen. I'll give you a chance to talk. Not your time.
Throw me the bookie.
Stop talking.
Buddy really thought this was going to be like his Joker moment. I bet he thought that line went really hard. Or maybe he really does recognize that the world is a better place with him locked away, because he is begging the judge to just throw the book at him. Buddy stares right down the pipe on the camera, so I'm guessing he wanted to make like a famous moment for himself out of all of this. He looks like Charles Manson if he had a Funko Pop addiction.
Charging documents lay out how prosecutors say a man, quote, terrorized, frightened, and intimidated one of the country's most popular athletes. Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark. Michael Lewis faces a felony stalking charge after allegedly traveling to Indianapolis to be near her.
Now, Mr. Looney Lewis was sending threatening and sexual messages to Caitlin Clark on Twitter, mainly. And the messages, or at least some of them, are still there. Like, some of the tweets are still there. It's a ton. He very much was infatuated with her, obsessed, and even traveled to Indianapolis to be close to her. Very dangerous, unhinged shit. His most recent messages are kind of nonsensical gibberish, though I can make out the first one there, which is, "You buyin'?" Very much sounds like the Resident Evil 4 weapons merchant. But the one after that, "You be coffalogopus, okay?" Don't know what the fuck that is. He must have just flopped his meat on the keyboard and just hit enter. That is actual nothingness. And then as you continue to scroll through his tweets, they become a little more lucid, and they are almost always directed at Caitlin Clark, directly to her, except for these two right there, where I guess he was arguing with someone. And then it's right back onto his life's mission of being in this imaginary relationship with Caitlin Clark. This is the people you're arguing with on Twitter, by the way. Assuming they're not just bots, which a lot of the platform is. The actual flesh, blood, and cringe that are just constantly fighting on Twitter like professional tweeters. This is what they look like in real life, by the way. Anyway, though, if you just scroll through his fucking Twitter, it's nothing but him talking about being with Caitlin Clark. He also has this fixation on making out. He constantly mentions, "You want to make out with me? When are we making out? Hey, let's start making out." He speaks as though the only thing he's ever watched in his life is Degrassi, and now he's under the impression that that's how people talk to one another. It's so odd. It's so weird. It just goes on and on and on. Like, these are all from the same day. Do you even like to make out? And the one before that is, once again, no spaces. Your puss needs a real good pounding. You're not into like, it's just, it's absolute insanity. He is very clearly a textbook definition of a dangerous stalker. He even went to her area to be near her. And I'm absolutely shocked that the authorities did something. They don't usually take stalking super seriously, but in this case, he's getting charged. They apprehended him, And it looks like they are going to throw the bookie at him, as he said, which I think is great. They may have just saved her life, because these kind of people, they snap. We've seen this shit happen tons and tons of times. And how many stories have we, like on the channel, gone over where stalkers weren't taken seriously and then something really bad happened. And then all of a sudden, the most preventable tragedy ever unfolds. So I'm happy to see they're actually doing something about this.
Police say he admitted it is a, quote, imaginary relationship, with dozens of posts on X directly tagging Clark, including a number of threatening and sexually explicit messages, according to prosecutors, even posting after an initial encounter with police. An attorney for Lewis hasn't been listed online.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. Usually I'm wrong, but in this case, I feel very confident. I think he's going to represent himself. I'm very certain of it. I think he's going to waive his right to an attorney and say, fuck it, we'll do it live, and he's going to do it himself. That's my prediction. We'll see how it unfolds, but I just wanted to lock that one in, so if it happens, I look like a goddamn prophet for it. Now, even outside of that short video clip, it doesn't seem the rest of the proceeding was a slam dunk for him. It was clear from just that short 30 seconds the judge was already really fed up with that behavior, but he continued to have other outbursts. He even contradicted himself, claiming that the prosecutors got the wrong guy because they didn't attach Junior to his name. Overall, he just wasn't treating it very seriously, even though he could face up to like 6 years in jail from what I was reading. But he just doesn't seem to give a fuck. So he's from Texas and apparently lives in his vehicle, drove it to Indianapolis, and was arrested at a hotel in Indianapolis after posting the messages and saying things like, getting tickets, I'm sitting behind the bench. And then he even makes this tweet here, which references that they are actively coming for him. They said I was sending threatening texts, but the only thought on my mind was, Caitlin! Caps lock. Interestingly enough, I went to the first tweet from Michael Lewis, and it's from January 7th. So he hasn't really been doing this for all that long, but every single tweet since January 7th, all 887 of them, pretty much, are directed to Caitlin Clark. So his first one, no greater love than to lay down your life, ... So he's a relatively new stalker. He's still in his rookie season here. He's been doing it for about 2 weeks, and it was so egregious that authorities are actually acting on it, which is a good thing. I also think there's a chance that this isn't his first time stalking. After going through so many of his tweets, I feel like he's probably done this to others, but not on this account. I feel like he probably makes accounts like this. The name of this account is RacerX2031. That's an Xbox Live generated gamertag, basically. That's fucking nothing. So I bet he probably makes specific accounts for the sole purpose of stalking individuals, and this one was for Caitlin Clark, his most recent obsession. But I just get the feeling he's definitely done this in the past, too. That's just a hunch, though. Either way, really good news that he has been taken in by authorities. Fucking weirdo stalker. That's really about it. See ya.